Did you miss that memo during?
Not today.
Did you all keep that a secret from us?
No, I mean, I showed you the thing last night.
The drama surrounding Pedro Pascal and Disney just hit a whole new level. The star of The Mandalorian and the upcoming Fantastic Four movie has gone absolutely wild behind the scenes, and it's all about politics, mustaches, and some seriously questionable decisions.
Has to be us.
It all started when Fantastic Four was set to be Marvel's big comeback. This movie was supposed to reset everything, fix all the bad press from previous Marvel flops like Eternals and Quantumania, and get the MCU back on track. Instead, it seems like the film is headed straight for disaster, and Pedro Pascal is right at the center of it all. Weeks before the movie's release, it was clear that Fantastic Four was in trouble. Test screenings were a total disaster. Fans weren't impressed, some even called it embarrassing and lifeless. And instead of calming the waters, Marvel decided to make even more reshoots to try and fix everything. But the more they tried to fix it, the messier it got. Marvel decided to shake things up by making the Silver Surfer a woman in this movie. Yeah, you heard that right. They gender swapped the iconic male character and named her Shia LaBeouf. No, not a typo. This is a real name for a character in the movie.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald.
And to make things even more bizarre, this new Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner, didn't just float around looking cool. No, she took it upon herself to deliver a 6-minute monologue about parenting, gender roles, and even fatherhood to Reed Richards and Sue Storm. In the middle of their heated argument about raising their child, here comes the Silver Surfer to lecture them about modern identity politics. Can you even imagine this happening in a superhero movie? Fans were not happy.
We have one from Jeff Snyder, who says here, my sources called it both mid and meh, and not that bad. But that's not good either. The film lacks character development, as well as disappointed the use of Reed's powers. Oh, that honestly hurt me. We'll talk about that in a sec. And the use at all of the thing.
Test audiences were reportedly laughing at parts that were supposed to be serious. Silver Surfer's big lecture on cosmic gender roles? Stiff and unwatchable, they said. Julia Garner's performance? Let's just say it was so flat that it felt like she was reading off cue cards. And what did Pedro Pascal think about all of this? Well, he thought his big emotional monologue about fatherhood was the heart of the movie. Seriously, Pedro even compared his moment to Tony Stark's Endgame speech. Talk about ego. But when the scenes with the Silver Surfer and Pedro's monologue got cut after disastrous test screenings, Pedro didn't take it well. Sources say he flipped out. He reportedly demanded that the scene be put back in and even reached out to the big bosses, Kevin Feige and Bob Iger. Apparently, he even wanted to make sure Disney respected his character arc. And his mustache. The news is that Pedro threw a fit over Marvel wanting to digitally remove his mustache for flashback scenes where his character is supposed to look younger. Pedro didn't want to lose his signature look. He said his mustache was a big part of his identity and his brand. It wasn't just about the movie for him, it was about his personal style.
I was like, okay, and now people are like, don't ever get rid of your mustache. You look like my grandmother without it.
But come on. Can you really say no to removing a mustache in a superhero movie? Especially when it's for a flashback scene? It's not like Mr. Fantastic ever had a mustache in the comics anyway, but Pedro made it clear that he wasn't willing to budge. Some fans were seriously scratching their heads. Is Pedro more worried about his mustache than the movie itself? Was the big question. Disney wasn't having it though. They decided that the film needed less of that kind of drama. They were trying to tone down the over-the-top political messages and focus on getting the movie right. But Pedro? He wasn't backing down. So what did Disney do in response to Pedro's tantrum? Well, they decided it was time for some damage control. Disney called an emergency meeting and came to a big conclusion. Pedro needed to dial down on his politics, at least when it came to promoting the Fantastic Four. In other words, Disney told Pedro to keep his personal views out of the film's press and promotion.
the process. I have no idea what. I have zero talking points on that topic. Sure. So I only have traps that I could step into. So I'll just flat out say no comment.
This move seemed to be a direct reaction to Pedro's politically charged social media posts and interviews.
It's important to, protect people and human beings, especially those that are simply asking for the right to exist in the bodies that belong to them and in the world that they never asked to be brought into.
Recently, he'd posted strong pro-trans rights messages that rubbed some fans the wrong way. Fans expressed their disappointment, with many even saying they'd unfollow Pedro on Instagram because of his politics. Pedro, of course, wasn't afraid to fight back. He dismissed the critics and even compared himself to other actors who also shared their views. But Disney wasn't about to let him cause any more problems. They started slashing Pedro's press appearances. No more interviews. No more TV shows promoting Fantastic Four. Disney clearly thought that the more Pedro talked, the more trouble they were in. So they pulled him from some of the high-profile media events. This was a big move because, let's face it, Pedro was supposed to be a star in this film. Now, he was being kept on a short leash. If this whole situation sounds a bit familiar, that's because it mirrors what happened with Rachel Zegler, another Disney actor who got into hot water for her outspoken views.
Remember, she was out like a couple years ago being like, there's certainly not going to be a prince rescuing me, I can tell you that. And then even Disney got on its heels and they're like, we're going to reshoot the movie immediately. Like, we're going to make some changes because there was so much backlash to her arrogance and just inanity.
But unlike Rachel, Pedro didn't just quietly accept the consequences. He fought back. And now, both Pedro and Rachel have become poster children for Disney's tricky balance between artistic expression and public relations. It's clear that Disney doesn't want another Snow White disaster on its hands. So, what did they do? They went after Pedro. And just like that, the Fantastic Four movie became a whole new drama behind the scenes. This isn't just about Pedro's mustache or his political views, though. It's about the bigger picture. Fantastic Four was supposed to be Marvel's big fresh start, a way to pull the MCU out of the slump it's been in. But instead, it's become a train wreck of miscasting, behind-the-scenes drama, and missed opportunities.
The casting choices have been questionable. Fans aren't exactly thrilled with the picks for Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. The team's chemistry, reportedly non-existent. And worst of all, the script has been completely rewritten to fit the latest political agendas, leaving fans wondering if the Fantastic Four will even feel like the Fantastic Four.
We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family.
Marvel's desperate attempt to fix this mess by doing reshoots just weeks before the movie's release has only made things worse. The movie's tone flips between trying to be a cosmic space opera and an awkward therapy session with lasers. None of this was supposed to happen, and it shows. Fans are worried this might be the final nail in the coffin for the MCU as they know it.